Hello. It says that we're live, but I'm not seeing anything. Just making sure. Okay. Hi. Hi, Prego Expo. Hello. It says that we're live, but I'm not. There we go. My name is Amy. I'm with Ergobaby, and I'm going to talk to you today about baby wearing. Yay! I want to jump right in and talk about some of our newborn-friendly carriers, because this morning when I was hanging out with you guys in the booth, we had a lot of questions about newborns. Surprise, surprise, at the Prego Expo that would be the case. So I want to talk first about our Embrace carrier, which is our newest carrier. So doesn't that just fit so nicely? The Embrace carrier is a super soft, kind of like stretchy wrap hybrid carrier. And I have a stretchy wrap back here. And I have a buckle carrier or soft structure carrier back here. So it's like we took these two and merged them together. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the cozy fit of a soft structure carrier, and you get you get the cozy fit of the stretchy wrap, and you get the easy ease of a buckle carrier. So what you're gonna do when you put on this carrier is take this label here. There's an orange label, place it against your weight, clip the waist belt. There's a little safety elastic back here. You're gonna make sure that it gets through there. There we go. Click that buckle, and the waist belt is on. And I'm gonna get my baby, him on my body. Bring these up over my shoulders. Reach back. Clip one. Clip. Clip is hiding. There it is. Clip one. Reach back. Clip the other one. Not a hiding clip this time. Yay. And it's on. So just click the waist belt, baby on. Click the straps, and you're good to go. You can put it on all by yourself, super independent, which is a really nice feature of the Embrace, that it gives you, like I said, the best of both of these worlds, but it's super independent to put on, super fast to put on. Also a super great price point. It starts at just $79. Actually, all the Embraces are just $79 on our website. And I believe with the Prego Expo, you're gonna get 20% off right now too, if I'm correct. It starts at, let's see, how much does it start at? It starts at 7 pounds and goes up to 25 pounds. So for the first year, 18 months, pretty much from birth for most babies, you're covered. No infant insert required, no extra pieces to have to buy. It's just click, click, and you're going for the most part, right? So that's a really nice, those are some nice features of the Embrace carrier. Of course, it's also machine washable, and this fabric is also very breathable. It's kind of like stretchy wrap fabric, but because you don't have to have the multiple layers like stretchy wraps do, it can be a whole lot more breathable. The sides are open, so those of you that are in hot weather, really great option for you. That reminded me, I wanted to ask you all who are attending live, because I can see your comments over here. Where are you attending from? Because this morning in the booth, we had people from all over the place, which is such an awesome benefit of the virtual Prego Expos, that we have people from all over. So if you don't mind dropping in the comments, letting me know where you're from, because I really like to scroll through and see them all. I see that there are a few questions, I think. I have the comments down here, so I'm going to keep looking back and forth as we're live. But I would love to just make sure that I can answer a lot of your questions, which is why I hopped into the booth this morning and tried to collect a few of them, and I have them written down here to make sure that I address all of them. Quick recap on the Embrace statistics, because a lot of questions were around cost and weight limits, and are they washable, and are they breathable, and all that. We talked about washable, yes. Breathable, yes. Weight limit 7 to 25 pounds, and the cost is $79 for the Embrace. So I think that covers all of those things. Can you wear carriers while you're pregnant? As long as your provider's not told you otherwise, you have nothing that would make you uncomfortable wearing while you're pregnant. Absolutely. People will wear things above their bump, below. Most people switch to a hip carry or back carries through pregnancy. But yeah, check in with your provider. But for the most part, there's no reason why, other than, if you're like, I am uncomfortable and I don't want to, then stop. Let's see. Is there a neck support for newborns? Let's talk real quickly about what the Embrace does in the newborn mode, and then we'll move on to these other carriers. So I'm going to take this down. I can show you. To take it off, I'm going to unbuckle, take it down, and we're out. Bye-bye, Hamilton. Hamilton's my infant doll. You'll see him again later. But right now, we need to switch into newborn mode. And the way we switch into newborn mode, what's really handy is that, like I mentioned, there's this orange label. It's like the instruction label. If that's up against your body, you've got it on, right? And it also has these instructions for how to switch it into newborn mode. So what you're going to do is take this waist belt, and you're going to flip it. I think that's actually backward for you guys, but you're going to flip it toward you 2 times. 1, 2. And that's going to make this panel so much smaller for a newborn. Then we're going to clip it on the same way through that safety elastic back here, through the buckle. There we go. I need to give myself just a little bit extra room there. And then I'm going to get my doll, just like I picked up my baby before, right? Same exact steps. We just add in those waist belt twists. Bring this panel up and up on my shoulders again. 1, 2. And note when I am tightening this on my shoulders, this is pretty important. I'm going to take this strap behind me and pull straight down, then over, then clip it. There's that clip this time. And that will help keep the strap out of my neck and will help make it more secure on my body. So again, I'm just going to pull straight down. Make sure you can see that. So I'm going to back up a little bit. Pull straight down, then cross over, then buckle. And you can see I have a much smaller baby now, but the panel is still a really good height for her. And if I wanted a little bit of extra head support, I could even bring this up just a little bit here. And that really helps rein in the floppiness. I don't want it to be too high so that obviously I can't monitor my baby's breathing, because that's the most important part of baby wearing. Her arms are in a weird spot. That's the most important part of baby wearing, regardless of what kind of carrier you use, whether it's an Ergobaby, Baby Tula, or one of the very many amazing brands of carriers out there. Airway is the most important thing, right? So we always want to make sure that we can monitor our baby's airway, that I can look down, and right there, underneath my chin, right on my chest, where I'd want to hold her and like kiss her and snuggle her. Anyway, I won't kiss my plastic doll today. I have, but I just didn't feel like it today. Right where I would hold her in my arms without a carrier. That is going to be the best spot on my body. Her arms just keep moving around, sorry. That's going to be the best spot on my body for me to monitor her airway. Her head is up out of the carrier, really so that I can see her ear. That's really helpful. Just a general reference. Her ear has nothing to do with her airway, but that's really helpful if I can see her ear. And that way, this padded part of the carrier is right here at like the rounded part of your head, right? Where this kind of divots in a little bit on babies and adults. If we support this part of baby's head, we actually help reduce a lot of the newborn floppiness while letting our babies like pick up their heads and look around and get exercise. As we know, it is important for our babies to have tummy time when they're newborns and throughout that time that they're getting a lot of core strength, learning to roll over, learning to sit up, all that stuff. Tummy time is really important for that, right? Baby wearing is utilizing those same muscles that babies are doing work on during tummy time. We have that tummy to tummy interaction in the carrier. And so they're picking up their head, they're looking around, maybe they're pushing their hands against you eventually, right? They're doing that same kind of like baby airplane move. There we go. We want them to be able to do that stuff. So we want them to be able to pick up their head and move. We just don't want them to be floppy, right? And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for when they're talking about head support. We don't want babies. Oh, I can't even do it. It hurts my neck. We don't want babies really flopping around, but we want them to be able to look around. So the pillow here, you'll see is a really consistent feature in a lot of our carriers. Here it's flipped right now. This carrier has a pillow that we'll talk about in a minute. But all of the carriers that have this kind of structure to them have that sort of extra head support for newborns so that they can do all those things I said. Not be floppy. I gotta stop flapping my head around because that hurts. not be floppy, but still be able to exercise. So that is a really great, couple of really great questions about newborns and head support and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm way, way behind on the comments. I'm sorry, but oh my goodness, you guys are from everywhere. Michigan, Florida, Tennessee, Detroit, North Carolina, more Floridas, lots of East Coasters, of course, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, New York, California. Wow. Okay, I just like to read them out because there's so many. This is awesome. Thank you for coming to the Ergobaby 101, by the way. This is the Embrace carrier, if you are just joining us. The stats on it, I'll go over again real quickly. Great for hot weather, nice open sides, nice cool fabric. Yes, machine washable, absolutely. Baby products should always be machine washable, in my opinion. So definitely machine washable. Some people do like to put the carrier in a like lingerie bag or a pillowcase in the wash machine so the plastic buckles don't knock around too much, and then lay flat to dry. But absolutely machine washable. 7 to 25 pounds for the Embrace, just this carrier that I'm wearing today. And it is $79 retail, and I believe it's 20% off of the Prego Expo. I'm not totally sure. Sometimes they come in and left a code or something for me because they all know that I'm super bad at that kind of stuff. It does this newborn mode that I said with the twisting the waist belt, also does an infant mode, and it does front carries. So you're just like snuggle, cozy time with this carrier. Like I said, all of the coziness or a lot of the coziness of the stretchy wrap, which we also have, married with the quick convenience of a soft stretchy carrier. I'll take it off one more time. You're just gonna unbuckle, take it down, and we're out. Obviously, I need to take off my waist belt too, but baby's out. So it's really quick to get on and really quick to get off. So if you've got a baby who's not going to be consoled by anything other than the carrier, if you've got another baby at home, then you might know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's just the carrier. This is the only thing that's gonna calm them down. You can get that on really quickly. And then if there's some reason why you needed to get it off really quickly, like I always cite a blowout, we can get that too. Let me give it a quick sip. Parched. New York City, Wisconsin, Texas. Yes, machine washable. Oh, okay, yeah. I have like the tiniest screen. So there's a suggestion to move my screen down just a little bit. Hopefully that will help us be able to see a little bit more waistband stuff. For our next carrier, let's talk about the Omni 360. So the Omni 360 is one of our carriers. I like to say it's like our flagship. It does everything, right? It's newborn, doesn't require an infant insert for the Omni 360. Make sure you got that Omni part in there. That's really important if you're looking for a carrier that doesn't require an infant insert, because the 360 does. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Omni 360, the way you can tell the difference is, well, it's got little tiny button connectors here, and the 360 has big ones. But the big difference is inside the waist belt. I mentioned that this carrier doesn't require an infant insert, which is awesome. It's 7 to 45 pounds. 45 pounds. But inside, over here in the waist belt, this is the magic part right here. This is what's helping to reduce that knee-to-knee area in the carrier, where baby's bottom sits in here. You're looking at the inside of the carrier right now. That helps to reduce that size. So it makes it really small for a little newborn's bottom. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now we're really wide, right? We're so wide. In fact, because of the like kind of bucket structure of this seat, it can go even wider than what you can really see right now. It's on its wide setting. I'm going to adjust it all the way down to its newborn setting. There's Velcro, so bear with me. Hold on. Velcro noise. And there'll be one more Velcro noise. And again, right inside the waist belt, just like with the Embrace, it gives you a little guide. So you know, based on your baby's height and weight, where you should be. You can also adjust the carrier out. And if it's making your baby do like this with their legs instead of this, you're not ready to go that wide. They should be able to bend their knees freely. If they can't bend their knees freely, just go back to the setting that you had it before. So now that we're adjusted down for a newborn, look at how teeny tiny. Let me get those straps out of the way so you can really see how teeny tiny this carrier strap doesn't want to comply. It can get really, really tiny for a teeny tiny newborn. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna use it on Hamilton. again, so let me adjust it. So that's how the waist belt adjusts. Let's put it on. I like to actually put this carrier on backward because all that adjusting stuff is going to go against my body. And the lumbar support here is just, I want to make sure that I don't get that twisted. The lumbar support is one of my favorite features on this carrier. I'll explain why. The buckle. So we always have a safety elastic here at the end of the buckle. So make sure your buckle gets through that elastic and then buckle it. Ideally, if you can get the rest of your webbing through, that'd be great as well. That way, if for some reason the buckle gets caught on something, knocks on the wall. One time in a postpartum haze, I didn't actually get it all the way buckled. Have you ever done that with those plastic buckles? I hope that you have, because it would make me feel better about it. But thankfully, I used my safety elastic and I caught my mistake in a mirror and I was able to adjust it very quickly and everything was fine. But thankfully, the safety elastic, if that buckle comes unbuckled, your waist belt isn't going to come on. So there's my spiel about safety. I'm going to bring this around to the front and let me show you one more thing. We mentioned with the Tula earlier in the booth when I was talking about how to adjust the Tula. This panel is really long. Well, wait, hold on. This panel, when I flip it up, here we go, is really long in like infant toddler mode, but we can flip it down for a smaller baby. We can even flip it inside for a newborn. And this is that pillow thing that I was talking about with the embrace, so that we can, like I said, rein in the floppiness. I can't help but do the head thing. Rein in the floppiness, but still allow our babies to look around. So they still have that independent head movement with a little extra support when we flip that pillow into the inside. And you can even take your little tabs here, your button tabs, and button those around. That's how, no, I don't have it set for you. You can take those and button and secure them down for the first 6 weeks or so, and then you can take it and button it out so that it is in infant mode, which I will secure down in just a sec. Let's get our baby on first, though. We're going to say hi to Hamilton again. Hello, Hamilton. And when I put my baby on my body, I pretty much just putting them on my body where I would hold them in my arms already. Sometimes people are like, is that a good position for the hips, which is a very important thing to us here at Ergobaby, because after all, we are named after ergonomics. When you hold your baby in your arms, right, and they've got get their arms kind of set here. You got one arm around their back, and usually one arm under their bottom. And it's supporting this kind of spread squat position that a baby puts themselves into, for most babies, almost instinctually. You go to pick them up, and they just kind of pick up their knees and put themselves into that little ball, right? And that little spread squat position is the same thing that we're doing in a carrier. It doesn't matter the size of your body either. I know that I'm a smaller person. I've worked with people of all different body types, specifically in our Ergobaby carriers. People will come up when we have in-person events. They'll come up to the booth and say, I bet you can't fit me in that carrier, and we always can. We always can. There's no extenders with Ergobaby. I don't think there are anymore because they've lengthened the sizes in the last few years, and they really do fit everybody. And every baby, when they go onto your body, they fit your body. Your baby is gonna fit your body. Their legs aren't going to like completely wrap around your body or anything. They sit next to themselves in the same position that you would hold them in your arms, the way it is. So there's a little bit more safety and ergonomic feel, I guess. I wasn't quite done with the safety, sorry. But just like you hold your baby in your arms, that's exactly how the carrier is supporting your baby. So we don't want to overextend, like I mentioned. We don't want your baby sitting with their legs all the way out like that and their knees overextended. We want them to be able to bend their knees freely. We want them to be able to move their head and neck freely. We want them to be able to have the same freedom of motion that they would when they're securely in your arms. Not overly flopping around, right? Okay, I gotta stop flopping myself around. All right, I'm gonna put this up just like we did with the embrace. These go up, these go up. But now they're already secured here, right? So it's just this flip back here that I need to secure. There's a couple ways that you can do this. Independence is really important to me. I want you to be able to put this carrier on by yourself. So sometimes people will just reach back here, grab these clips, clip back here, and they're good to go. But not all of us have that range of motion I've been baby wearing for a long time, and it took me a while to be able to get both of my hands all the way back here. That's a lot. So here are a couple of alternatives. First one is make sure that your shoulder straps are kind of loose, and you're going to need to come up behind your head, but only like up here. The reason why we want to make sure that your chest clip is down on your back a little bit and not all the way up on your neck. Get my hair out of the way. Some people will wear their chest clip. They'll wear it like all the way up here, right? All the way on the top of their neck. And if that's comfortable for you, by all means, I don't want to change what you're doing. But for some people, when their chest clip is up that high, it really makes their shoulder straps start to come in, and it bothers their neck, and it might even bother their baby a little bit. Like their baby can't see out as much, or they're irritated, their skin is like just rubbing up against this piece of fabric all the time. Even the softest piece of fabric is going to be a little annoying if you're constantly rubbing up against it, right? So if you wear your chest clip down lower, so for me, this is even just a tad bit high. I'd like it down just a tiny bit, really so that it makes a natural H on your back. I know that sounds kind of weird to think about, but the straps these are curved straps, but the way they end up on your back, they should look kind of straight, and that bar of the H should be right in between them. So that clip here, when I tighten this, is really going to end up kind of mid-back, right in between my shoulder blades. And you can move it up or down, depending on how narrow you want the top of your shoulders to be, how wide you want the top of your shoulders to be, how narrow you want the feeling to be down here as well. I think that's the only real con of soft structure carriers, is they have these like little small adjustments. So now that you know that you can move this clip up and down, experiment with it. Even half an inch up or down could be a big change to your comfort in the carrier. And your comfort is a really important part of baby wearing. Don't forget that. We're not sacrificing everything as parents, right? It's important for you to be comfortable in this whole thing as well. Okay, so there's another spiel. I'll try not to do many spiels. Let's get back to doing this independently. Yes, so make sure that these straps are a little bit long. And when you're gonna do, I'm gonna unclip this, what you're gonna do is take these two straps that are a little extra, right? And you're gonna take them back and up. We wanna make sure that we've got tension on these, right? So the baby's not, again, doing all that flapping. So we're gonna get nice tension, bring them up, 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 until we hit that clip. And we're gonna continue to pull back, clip, grab it, grab our baby. Now we can let go, and we can tighten those shoulder straps under our arms by pulling down. I like to kind of pull down with my arm, hold on to that extra slack, and adjust it right out of there, like that. And then I can go through to just kind of adjust my baby a little bit, make sure, like I said, that this padded part is hitting them right about their ear, so I can see their airway the whole time that I'm wearing them. They're right about under my chin, so again, I can kiss them and smell them and all that lovey-dovey bonding stuff. It's a great, great benefit of baby wearing. I also like to double check the seat. I like to reach in here and kind of lift up my baby's knees a little bit, so they're really sitting in the carrier. Ergobaby has what I think really sets Ergobaby apart from all the other baby carriers, is they have this really great seat structure where baby is really sitting, their bottom is really sitting in this carrier. So the carrier is really taking their weight. It's really supporting baby's body. It's taking a lot off your shoulders, and it's really moving a lot of the weight into your hips where you don't feel it as much, which I think is a real, it's the ergonomics behind this baby carrier that's really ingenious to me. So to help with this whole thing, reach inside the baby, or reach inside the baby carrier. There we go, not inside the baby, that'd be weird. Inside the carrier, come down around baby's hips and then lift up at their knees. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm reaching inside. I'm gonna just come down around their bottom, up to their hips, and lift up at their knees. So down around their bottom, lift up at their knees, and kind of settle them into this padding that we've got right here, and really let this bucket, like I said, let this part of the carrier really take all of that weight for me. So that's one way to get the carrier on by yourself. I'm going to make sure that I catch up on my comments a little bit because there are a few, I'm not catching up with them very well. So the checklist of this one I'm seeing, yes, still machine washable. I would put it, like I said, in a laundry bag or a pillowcase in the machine so the plastic buckles don't knock around too much, and then lay flat to dry. Hot weather, yes, this one comes in canvas, but it also comes in a mesh version. So the sides are nice and open, so you're gonna get nice cool air, baby's gonna get a nice cool airflow, but that mesh adds another bunch of airflow for baby and helps to keep them cooler. So mesh is definitely an option, but even the canvas, in my opinion, I live in Portland, Oregon, so, you know, but it was 100 degrees the other day, yeah, still really cool for me. So machine washable, hot, good. We talked about fit, how we can fit anybody in this carrier, 7 to 45 pounds. So 7 pounds means very newborn friendly. We talked about how you can take that Velcro all the way down to the newborn size, and you don't need an infant insert for the Omni 360. Make sure that you're going for the Omni 360 though. And it retails for $179. Now let's talk about the 360 really quickly and just the differences between those. So the 360 carrier, you'll notice if you read the instructions, it starts at 12 pounds. It does not have any adjustments for a newborn. So it does require a newborn insert if you're going to use it for a newborn. A lot of people will get a combination of the Aura Wrap and a 360. So they use the Aura Wrap during the newborn time, and then they transition to the 360, or now with the Embrace, a lot of people are doing an Embrace 360 combo, and sometimes Ergobaby has combo deals on those. So just an idea if you're planning for newborn stuff, because the 360 starts at 12 pounds and it retails for $139. The Omni 360 starts at 7 pounds, retails for $179. So I hope that's really clear for everyone. We also have other carriers too. There's the Adapt, which also starts at 7 pounds and goes up to 45 pounds. It retails for $139. So if you see something and you're like, oh, hey, this looks like it's another Ergo carrier, but it's a little bit cheaper. The only difference between the Adapt, really, I mean, there are some differences, but the only functional difference is that the Adapt doesn't do the facing out function, and the Omni 360 does do the facing out function. Should we talk about facing out really quickly? I know most of you on here are in the more newborn phase, and when we talk about facing out in a carrier, we are looking for some neck control, and we want baby to be tall enough so that their chin clears the top of the panel. So I'll show you what that means. But I want to, again, check in with the comments. Number one most productive item, that's awesome. I feel the same. I don't know what I would have been able to do without my baby carriers. So, oh, Juliana says she's working on getting the code. It does, I'm pretty sure that it is 20% off. Juliana, you're so awesome, thank you. Okay, good, I think we're catching up with comments. Let's do a quick forward facing in the Omni 360, and then let's talk about the Aura Wrap for all of our curious stretchy wrap folks. I think you're really gonna wanna stick around with this one because a lot of people are like intimidated by the stretchy wrap, but we can make it easy, I promise. Okay, checking in on my own stuff. Okay, everything looks good. So facing out, we also didn't do the other. All right, catching up on two things here. The other way to get this on and off by yourself, you're also gonna wanna loosen up your shoulder straps. So there's these little sliders here. Loosen those up, just like on a backpack. You've seen these before, no worries. We're gonna loosen those up, and then we're gonna take this clip over our head. We don't even have to clip it, unclip it, we just leave it clipped. Same thing if you put it on, get your baby on, get these straps, get one strap up, and then I like to stick my arm in the other strap too, just makes it a whole lot better. Grab that clip over your head, it's on. You gotta tighten up your shoulder straps, of course, but same way to get it off, just take it up over your head. Make sure these straps, you got a little bit of extra slack in there because we'll ruin your hair just a little bit, but these are the sacrifices that we make for our children, right? We will not sacrifice comfort, but we will allow, well, I will. I don't know what you're not. You may have different priorities than me, but the clip stays clipped and it just goes up over your head. So no more having to ask someone. I've asked strangers in the parking lot before, like, can you please my clip? Just loosen these shoulder straps and take it up over your head. Forward facing. Okay. So in the forward facing mode, the only thing that we have to change about the carrier, and I'm just going to flip it over my head real quick, is these buttons on the front. They're kind of hidden before, but there are buttons in here. The gray buttons are for facing away. Gray for facing away. So we're just going to move those down. If you had a carrier that was the mesh version of the Omni 360, it has sliders. So they make it even faster to do the switch. You literally slide them down, pick up your baby, and turn them around, which is great. So Hamilton here. Now I'm going to put him on my body, just like I would hold him in my arms in a facing out position without a carrier, right? Same theme over and over with this stuff. I would also probably wouldn't be holding my newborn like this, right? Well, I mean, sometimes I guess I do a little bit, but not for too long. When you're in the carrier, we want to make sure, like I said, that your baby has good head and neck control. They can support their own airway. And then their chin clears the top of the panel. Let me show you what I mean by that. So we're going to get the panel up this way. And now Hamilton is a good size for what we're doing here because his chin right at that top of the panel here. So the panel came up, stretch it a little bit. If the panel came up to there, obviously not going to work. But even here, baby's chewing on the top. Oh, they're going to chew on the top of it when they're facing out. But we'd really like for the panel to be down here so that there isn't any irritation on their chin. Their airway is really open and they can fully see out and all that kind of stuff. So they're doing that t-shirt trick. That's what we call it, the t-shirt trick again. And we're putting on the carrier the same way. What's different? Obviously, baby is facing a different direction, but also their arms can go in this little gap right here in between the top of the shoulder straps and the bottom of the shoulder straps. That's a great place for their arms. Most babies were about 4 or 5, 6 months, depending. My kids, they're more like 7 or 8 months before they're ready to face out. Every baby is different, of course. But those are the two things that we're waiting for. Good head and neck control, and that chin clears the top of the panel. And that's really all there is to forward facing. There was a question. You have both on your registry right now. I know, right? I wish I could make the decision for you about which carrier is the best carrier because there are so many great ones. Here, just come, actually, should have showed you how quickly you really can get from forward facing back into facing in, and then I just do my buttons. And we're back in facing in. I also wanted to show you really quickly because we did have some questions about back carrying. Yeah, I got the right buttons. And that's one of my favorite things to do. And I think we got a little bit of time. So really quickly, because I'm going to start in the same position. I adjusted my buttons now that Hamilton is facing in. My shoulder straps are loose, which is what I'm going to want to do for a back carry. This is just one way of many different methods for getting your baby on your back. But it's one of my favorite ways to teach because it's so fast and it feels so secure and you don't have to take your baby down. So if like they fell asleep and you just want to get them to your back so that you can do some chores, this is a great method for that. Some safety things though, they need to be sitting unassisted this time. Because of the open sides of the carrier, we want to make sure that baby can make themselves get back up to straight if they start to get kind of crooked. And it's hard for you to do when they're on your back. So baby should be sitting unassisted. That's the general milestone, or large enough, like for its special needs kind of cases. Contact us over at Ergobaby because we would love to talk more about special needs cases if you have questions about those. But for most folks, for most babies, sitting unassisted is a milestone. All right, again, enough safety stuff. Let's do the thing. So you're gonna take one arm above the strap. It looks kind of weird, but trust me, one arm above the strap. So the whole strap, the back is still buckled, is underneath your arm. Now this other arm going under the strap. So we call this the walk like an Egyptian because we kind of do this, right? It's very fun. Now this open shoulder, this is how I'm going to swing. I'm going to hip scoot my baby around. So I like to grab onto the waist belt, support them with my arm around their body, and move the carrier around until like I can't move it around anymore. Then I'm going to take this other arm, support my baby, Bring this arm around real quickly and do the rest. Scooch it, arm in, support my baby because my straps are still pretty loose. Other arm in. Now I'm gonna tighten. There you are. Tighten. And we're gonna back carry. A little bit of extra adjusting for my clips and stuff, but yeah. And plastic doll arms always seem to be in a weird spot, but we're quickly and safely in a back carry. Our baby couldn't go anywhere during that time. We had him supported in the carrier the whole time. Let's do it in reverse. Then I'll take this down and let's do some stretchy wrap stuff. So again, I'm gonna loosen. And my baby, like I said, is sitting unassisted in order to do back carries. And this is just one of many, many ways, well, of at least 3 or 4 ways that I know of to get your baby on your back in a soft structure carrier. Over, under, around the open shoulder. I want to say over, under, around, and through. I have small homeschooled children. And then we're back in a front carry, and we're good to go. And now I can take it off. So that's how, if you want to look it up on YouTube, walk like an Egyptian is what we call this method of back carrying. I'm going to take her down, him down, Hamilton, them down. And let's talk about stretchy wraps. Let me make sure, again, that I catch up on my comments. Yeah, oh yeah. And you can also find Ergobaby. We have an excellent Facebook group that's called Ergobaby Love Carries On. You get your carrier, you take some pictures, you want to get a fit check, post some pictures in the group, send us some photos. You can always email us at any time. We have a really great Instagram where they're doing Instagram lives about all kinds of really holistic, like new parent stuff. They talk about breastfeeding, they talk about mental health, they talk about, I mean, all kinds of stuff. So I would encourage you to check that out. I'm also on Instagram too, if you want to find me. In Your Wraps Babies is my handle, and I'd love to chat with you over there. I'm going to take a sip, and then we're going to wrap. Thank you. Okay, here we have our Aura Wrap. Now hold on, because some of you are like, oh no, those other things that were like the wrap, that is enough of a wrap for me, because this is a complicated thing. And it looks intimidating, right? It's unstructured. It's just 15 feet of stretchy fabric, but it's worth it. I promise it's worth it. It is really soft, really stretchy. The Aura Wrap starts at 8 pounds, goes up to 25 pounds, and it costs $49. $49, not $79, not $179, not $139, $49. I think that's a pretty awesome benefit of a stretchy wrap. And up to 25 pounds can get you through, I mean, like I said, if it were my babies, for a while. There's a tag in the middle that tells you where to start. You bunch it up. I like to bunch it up. I think it's easier to bunch it up. Just like with the back carry, there are more than one way. There is more than one way to do it. But I like to bunch it up, place it on the front of me. It goes under both arms. So we kind of do this weird chicken wing movement here. You're not going to forget the chicken wing movement, are you? And it goes behind me, and then it's going to cross on my back and come up over each shoulder. So I could take the fabric out to my side and swing it around. I could reach back and grab it and do one of these things. Whatever works for you, as long as it gets crossed on your back. My preferred method is to take both of these back, put both in one hand, reach underneath, grab this one. So now they're in opposite hands. See that? So they already did the cross. And then I could just put them up on both shoulders. Look over YouTube, see what works for you, find something that you like, and then stick with it every time that you do it. And that way your muscle memory builds, and you start to memorize, your body starts to memorize how to do it. And you can put that on at 3 in the morning when your baby's crying and you're crying and everyone's upset. I mean, it won't happen. Your postpartum will be amazing. But I'm going to take these 2 ends and stick them through this kind of cummerbund that we created. Now here is a good opportunity if you want to check to see if anything is twisted, if you've got time. Sometimes you're like, nope, we're just going to get this on. But if you've got time, now's a great opportunity to pause and see this end that had that tag, right? It should be the same as what's at my shoulder. So I can kind of do this towel washing sort of activity and see if anything is twisted. Now, if there is a twist, perfectly fine for baby. It's not going to be a safety thing for them at all. It just might create a pressure point for you after a while that you're like, what is happening here? There's a hair on my mouth. So checking for that twist. Like I said, if you have time, helpful. If not, don't worry about it. We're going to cross these again, bring them back, and tie them in a double knot. Plain old double knot. Nothing fancy to it. Just bring it back here and tie. If you've got extra, you can always untie it and bring it around to the front later. But for now, there's a bit going on up here. So we've got these two X's, right? I call them the two X's, even though it's one X, but it just has two sides. And then that kind of cummerbund that we created, right? So if we have extra coming around, it's just leave it all back here for now. Wait till you're a pro at it, and then you can tie it all around. Let's say hi to Hazel again. Hello, Hazel. I like to put her up on my shoulder. There's like I said, these two halves to the X. One is going to be closer to your body than the other. So this one is closer to my body. So I'm going to put her on this shoulder. Doesn't really matter in the end. It's just little helpful tips. Reach into that X. So there's no fabric on your chest. Bring in one leg to one side and then one leg to the other. So that X is now sitting underneath her bottom, right? And you can take a moment here. I think this is a great time to pause, check in with your baby. If they're upset, just kind of that bouncing, the patting, the shushing, all the soothing things for babies. And then we can move on. We can always just kind of pace ourselves if we have time. Again, if we feel like we have time. That layer that was closest to my body over here, I'm going to start with that one. Bring it across her body. So it goes from one knee all the way over to this other knee. Just like our other carriers were knee to knee support, this one is too. It's knee to knee. And same thing with this second layer. It's going to go from knee to knee. And both of these are like knees to nape of neck, that same spot here on their head that I talked about, kind of popping in. That's where the carrier should go up to. You can do legs in with this if you want to. Let's talk about that in a minute. But for now, that cummerbund layer needs to come all the way up to, and that is that third layer of support that's really locking in those bottom two layers. And that's really the safety of a stretchy wrap, are those three really well spread layers that help to support baby in there. If you're doing legs in, it'd be super, super similar. Your baby would have their legs in, kind of like so. Hazel doesn't do a great typical legs in because she's a plastic doll, so I just kind of fold her in half. Your baby wouldn't be folded in half. What do we mean by legs out or legs in? Sometimes you have those babies that you go to bring their foot through, and they're no, they want to stay in that. I always have to bring my leg out to me. They want to stay in that super curled up ball position. Totally fine. Take your little ball of a baby, right? Put them on your chest where you want them. Get these out of the way. Move off to the side. Put that ball of a baby on your chest where you would want them to be, like with all the carriers we talked about, so that you can kiss the top of your head, so you can smell the top of your head, so you can see their airway the whole time that you are wearing them. Get them soothed and all that. And then just take this side all the way up over their whole bottom, right? And up to that nape of neck position again. And same with this side, up over their whole bottom. And all that extra bunching just goes down here. A third layer goes up, it locks everything in, and we're good to go. A couple of troubleshooting things for stretchy wraps that are super, super common, so common that I've even got one of them going on right now, is that we don't want to tie it on too tight, right? We get what is too tight, what's tight enough. The thing about stretchy wraps is they're made from, this is a viscose fiber, and so it's super soft. And it has this excellent level of stretch. It's not too much. It's not too little. It's super breathable while we're talking about fabric. So for those that are a stretchy wrap's too hot for me, not anymore. Stretchy wraps have gotten a whole lot lighter in the last couple of years because they changed the fabrics that they're made with. They're so much thinner now, and they're so super stretchy and soft and comfy. Can you tell that I like stretchy wraps? I'm a big fan. So where was I going with this? Oh, yes. They can be really comfortable for all the right reasons. I'll catch up on my train of thought later. But sometimes, because of the tightness, that's where we were going, You don't want to tie them on too tight, so you tie it on a little bit more loose than you should. And after a while, I need to speed up time here. Hold on, let me reach in and speed up time. After a while, your baby that was up here is like doing this kind of off to the side. I'm trying to speed up time, sorry. Moving my plastic baby, we're slumping, and you're like, what happened? Because I did all the steps that Amy told me to do, and for some reason, I was unsuccessful. You were not. You were very successful. You did all the steps in the exact right order. The only thing that happened is there's this like happy medium of tightness with your carrier. So there's a couple things that you can do with this. One, if you don't want to take it off, you need to keep baby on because they fell asleep or something. Take that third layer down. Oh, sorry, I'm running into my plastic people. Reach into the carrier and lift your baby up onto your body where you want them to be. And I'm going to take Hazel's legs out now because it's just a whole lot more comfortable for me to not have those plastic legs in my belly. Reach in, like I said, lift your baby up to where you want them to be. Getting into my neck there. There we go. Lift them up to where you want them to be, and then pull from your neck down. Take this fabric, all this extra fabric. See how much extra fabric I ended up having in here? Pull it down, down, down. Down, 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 under here. Down, under here. There we go. And then kind of reposition around baby. Get that cummerbund layer back up there again. You get those arms. One arm is sticking out. Find the top of my cummerbund. There we go. Get that cummerbund layer back up there again. Move your hair out of the way. Spread out your shoulders again so they're nice and cozy. And we're so much more secure. Now I'm going to make sure that we're really knee to knee spread. This knee to knee spread. There we go. All the way. That's really important. Make sure those knees are up higher than that bum, and that spread squat ergonomic position is still maintained. Even in the stretchy wrap, we're trying to do the same thing that the soft structure carriers are doing. But check out how much slack I've got back here. I put like a whole bunch of extra. And we are not too tight. We're still nowhere near too tight territory, even though I took out all this. And it looked pretty good before, didn't it? I mean, I thought that it looked pretty good before, but I could feel like, oh yeah, I tied this on. This is going to be a good teaching moment because I tied this on a little too loose. I'm catching up on my comments again. Yeah, this one is machine washable too. Yep, they're all machine washable. Thank goodness. And the ones with buckles I mentioned, I would put those in the dryer, lay them flat to dry, and I'd probably use a laundry bag or a pillowcase to wash them in. But yes, absolutely, everything's machine washable. They Aura wrap to 8 to 25 pounds, and $49 is the retail price point. But you've got those coupon discount codes. A discount code will be sent via email, says Juliana. So watch out for that gift. That's pretty exciting. Okay, so make sure I'm good on comments. Okay, excellent. The last thing, we've got 2 minutes. Very quickly, let's breastfeed in it, and that's all we need. I'm not going to take out this extra slack. I'm going to take this down, reach in, take my baby, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle him down until I get to the point where we're at a good breastfeeding spot. And once you've been breastfeeding for a few weeks, you'll figure out where this is. This is combining two really learned skills, not instinctual skills. So give yourself a lot of time for this, but it's all about getting your baby down to this position, getting latched, get that third layer back up, right? So that everybody's secure. And then when baby's done, the most important thing, take this down, lift baby back up into that position, pull down from your shoulders to get all that slack back down and over baby, right? Down here, bring that third layer up, tighten your knot, and you're good to go. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of practice. I only have 2 minutes to show you breastfeeding, which is something that I wanted to make sure that we got to. Give it lots of practice, time, patience with yourself and with your baby. You're both learning new things. Whether you're breastfeeding and baby wearing or just baby wearing, give yourself some time to get used to these things. So thank you so much for letting me spend 15 minutes with you today. I'm out of time, but I will see you again tomorrow, same time tomorrow, for Baby Tula 101. So we'll see you there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope I got to all your questions. I'll try to hang out into the chat if I miss some. Bye.